Well, it looks like we're back. This is a momentous occasion. Boxing is back after a 3-month lapse. I'm really proud that Top Rank is the first promoter out of the box. We have a great show on the 9th of June. Then we continue on virtually 2 and 3 boxing events a week. Boxing is going to come back, believe me, bigger and more important than ever. And in this 2-month period, in June or July, where it looks like there won't be any NBA, any Major League Baseball, the spotlight will be on the sport of boxing, and with the bouts that we've lined up, I believe that the public will once again be enthused about the competitive level in the sport. So I know you want to hear from the fighters, and they're here, and so I'll turn it back to Evan.
Terrific. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I have one question for Bob. Are you there, Bob?
Yes.
Hey, Bob. Welcome. Can you just briefly sort of explain the thought process about how you went about bringing these fights back? And I sort of get it, like that these initial bouts are not for titles if you have world champions, but can you just explain sort of the thought behind that?
Yeah, I mean, this is not an easy job. It seems like it's easy, but my people, Brad Jacobs and Todd DeBuff, really been working for months on this, getting the protocols in shape, the testing, working with the Nevada Commission and its medical staff. I mean, this is something that nobody, at least on our end, had any experience with. So it's really been a work in progress, and it continues to be a work in progress. Imagine guys come into Vegas to get into the bubble, which is a special floor at the MGM. They got to be tested. They're in the bubble. They got to be escorted to a place to shake out and train, to a place to eat. We have a special dining room set up in the convention center. All of this is something that none of us is used to. Now, we're not starting out with title fights, but we're going to, before long, by the third week, start doing some world title fights, because there are other issues with the organizations which we're working out. So it's one step at a time. It's not easy. I mean, and it's not inexpensive. For example, testing, just the testing for coronavirus, for each event will cost us in excess of $25,000. Just the testing, plus the rooms, the special security, the meals, and the dining in the convention area. This is a very, very large undertaking, but obviously it has to be done. We've got to get boxing started up. We're going to probably be doing this perhaps for 3 months, for June and July definitely, and then in August, and hopefully by September, we're going to start getting back to doing events with spectators with a limited capacity. That's our second phase that we're working on. And the third phase, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be doing events with virtually full capacity. But that's down the line. So, I mean, this is really big responsibility on our part to start it off in the right foot. As I said, our protocols, which we've been working on for months, are available to all promoters all over the world. There's no competition here. We want to get everybody to do the right things necessary to get started in boxing as big as possible. Go ahead.
So one thing that I think certainly surprised a couple of people was you being able to bring in Andrew and Jason Maloney from Australia to the United States. So my question to you is, what does this mean that there are potential plans or something in the works of potentially maybe bringing in other fighters on top-ranked roster from outside the United States and seeing if that could potentially fit into the schedule or the amount of shows that you guys got up ahead?
That's a good question. The Maloneys, we take no credit for getting them into the United States. We told them there was a problem. They internally solved the problem with the Australian government. So all kudos to them. They got here. They were in my office earlier today. They're working out in the gym. They'll be going the third week in June, the fourth week in June, the third week of the fights. As far as fighters outside the United States, there's a limit to what we can do. In other words, we don't fly the planes. I have no influence with this White House, thank God, as to lifting travel bans. But where there's a will, there's a way. I know that Vasyl Lomachenko, for example, will be coming to the United States sometime in June. Janibek, Kazakhstan guy, will be coming. I don't know when the Brits can come. I don't know when the Canadians can come. This is really out of our hands now. So every fighter that wants to come over and wants to participate in these shows and continue with their career has got to find a way to do that on their own or with their advisors. We'll facilitate anything we can, but, our power is greatly limited.
Can you go a bit into, will there be anything, different for media in regards to anything virtual media days, or any way we as media from home will be able to talk, to the boxers before or maybe after the events?
First show, no. First two shows, no. First two shows, we have our hands full getting this off the ground. Maybe we can arrange for conference calls after the fight. But, even the television crew from ESPN will be broadcasting this from a remote location. We will not have media at the event because of the whole testing, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe with these first two events. We have our hands full. We haven't done it before. We want to make sure that everything goes smoothly because there's a whole bunch of, there's 30, ESPN has at least 30 people in their camera crew. The commission has another 20 or 30 people with the referees and inspectors. And so we eliminated media in the bubble, in the arena for the first two shows. And what we hope to do, once we see how well these events have gone, is to now open it up to a limited number of media at first for the second week, and then expand as we go along. We'll be doing these fights in this bubble with no spectators at least through the end of July, probably longer, but in this place, at least through the end of July. So as we become more and more familiar with the policies that we have to have, then we'll start allowing media into the event where they can ask questions.
And